Welcome back to the Dark Britain Files, dear viewers. Before we delve into tonight's chilling account, I want to express my gratitude for your continued support. If you find yourself captivated by this tale, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Now let's dim the lights and immerse ourselves in this chilling narrative. The Montgomery Curse. My grandmother's house, a sprawling Victorian in rural Vermont, always held a particular dread. Growing up, I spent summers there, drawn to its hidden nooks and sprawling gardens, yet one room remained strictly forbidden, a locked bedroom on the third floor. Any questions about it were met with my grandmother's hushed warning, "We don't speak of that, some doors are meant to stay closed." Still, my childhood curiosity burned, fueling my attempts to uncover its secrets. I'd press my ear against the door, convinced I heard faint children's laughter, or try to peek through the plugged keyhole. My mother's reaction was equally chilling. Her sharp declaration, "We don't speak of the twins," solidified the room's sinister enigma. This brief mention of twins haunted me for years. When my grandmother passed at 97, the house became mine. As I sorted through her belongings, I found a sealed envelope containing an ornate brass key and a letter. In it, she confessed the house held dark secrets and the key would open the forbidden room. She revealed the birth of twins, Theodore and Theodora, in 1952. Their arrival, initially joyous, quickly turned to despair. There was something wrong with them, something she couldn't bring herself to describe. Fear and shame led her to preserve their room exactly as it was, a testament to children she couldn't erase. Her final words chilled me. "Forgive me, Eliza, and be careful. Some doors, once opened, cannot be closed again." That night, unable to resist, I unlocked the door. Moonlight illuminated a nursery, frozen in time. Two identical cribs stood side by side, their white paint yellowed. Toys were neatly arranged, awaiting hands that would never play with them again. The air, though stale, held a faint scent of lavender. On a dresser, a faded photograph showed my young grandmother, smiling, holding the infants. Their names, Theodore and Theodora, were embroidered on small quilts in the cribs. Next to a rocking chair lay a cracked leather journal. Its first entry, June 15th, 1952, spoke of the twins' birth. But later entries painted a terrifying picture. The twins cried, like screaming. Their eyes held a knowing look, and they developed at an alarming rate, speaking at 3 months old. Pets and small animals disappeared, only for the twins to be found playing with bones and... My grandmother detailed a descent into paranoia. Theodora trying to smother Theodore, strange occurrences in the house, and always the twins, watching. The final entries were desperate. "Harold is dead. They killed him," she wrote, on Christmas Eve 1952, referring to my grandfather's suspicious death. The last entry simply stated, "It's done. May God have mercy on my soul." Reeling, I sought answers in the attic, another forbidden space. Behind a hidden panel, a narrow staircase led to a vast space filled with old trunks. I found one marked T&T 1952. Inside were medical records from a Swiss sanitarium admitting Theodore and Theodora Montgomery in 1953, with diagnoses of severe psychopathy with homicidal tendencies. They died in 1960 after unsuccessful experimental treatment. Photographs showed them aging, their innocent infant faces giving way to disturbing, empty eyes as children. The final photo, of them in hospital gowns, was inscribed, "The last photograph, may they find peace." But it was a small, leather-bound book of newspaper clippings that revealed the true horror. Dating back to the 1800s, each clipping detailed similar tragedies. Twins born into my family. followed by unexplained deaths or disappearances. This pattern repeated for generations, always with twins, always with tragedy. An entry in another journal confirmed my fear. Margaret, my mother, turns 3 today. She is such a joy, normal, healthy. I thank God every day that she wasn't born a twin. Perhaps the curse has skipped a generation. My mother, 5 years old when the twins were born, had never mentioned siblings. I had to confront her. After explaining what I'd found, my mother's face drained. "I was 5 when they were born," she whispered. "They didn't cry like normal babies. They just stared." She confirmed my grandmother's fear that the twins were evil and that they had been responsible for my grandfather's death. My grandmother, unable to kill her own children, had sent them away to the sanitarium. My mother then spoke of an old family legend. Every few generations, twins born to the women in our line are never right, bringing death and destruction. The only way to end the cycle was to kill them, I finished, a hollow dread filling me. My mother simply nodded, a single tear tracing her cheek. Mother couldn't do it, but the guilt ate at her for the rest of her life. She urged me to leave the house, to sell it or burn it down, claiming the twins' influence still lingered like a shadow. I promised, but knew I couldn't leave. There was still a missing piece. That night, I dreamed of the twins, their expressionless faces urging me to play with us, Eliza. Grandmother is waiting. I woke to phantom figures retreating from my room. The next day, with my mother gone, I continued my search, finding more birth and death certificates tracing the curse through generations. Then, in a hidden compartment of my grandmother's desk, I found the Montgomery family grimoire. It described the twin curse originating from a pact Abigail Montgomery made in 1723 with an entity. Every 3rd generation, twins serve as vessels, appearing human but harbouring ancient malice. The grimoire detailed a ritual of containment using symbols and incantations to bind the entity to a specific location, a temporary measure needing renewal every 25 years. The symbols matched those in the small 4-foot-high door I'd found in the attic, the binding room. My grandmother had bound the malevolent force there, but with her death, the binding was weakening. I began noticing changes, doors opening, objects moving, childish whispers. I needed to perform the ritual, but it was dangerous. I sought help from my estranged Aunt Catherine, known for her old ways. She wasn't surprised. "I've been expecting you," she said, revealing that the twins weren't different children each time, but the same entity reincarnating in our family. Theodore from 1952 looks exactly like Thomas from 1903. Abigail's pact with the entity gave our family power and prosperity, in exchange for allowing it to incarnate every 3rd generation. My grandmother, unable to kill her children, had used the binding ritual to contain it. But now, with my grandmother gone, the binding was failing. Catherine, as Elizabeth's younger sister, could perform the ritual, but needed my help. As midnight approached, we prepared, the house growing colder, filled with childish laughter. In the attic's binding room, Catherine began the incantation as I drew symbols on the floor. The room grew freezing, the symbols glowing blue, then pulsing red. The rocking chairs moved violently. Ancient, childish voices taunted us. "You cannot bind us forever. We are eternal. We will have what was promised." Catherine faltered, the final incantation erased from the grimoire. "They've been planning this," she whispered, realizing the twins had manipulated events. But then she remembered my grandmother's contingency, the music box in the nursery. I raced back to the nursery. Inside the music box, a small paper read, To end what began, return them to where they first came. Suddenly, the twins solidified in their cribs, 8-year-olds with dark, ancient eyes. "We collect what is owed," they hissed, "a soul from each generation, payment for the pact Abigail made." I realized where they first came meant the cemetery, the Montgomery Mausoleum, where Abigail was buried. I fled, the twins' angry cries pursuing me. In the mausoleum, the twins appeared, confident I lacked the grimoire. But I knew the truth. The final ritual wasn't in the book. My grandmother had hidden it. "I don't need the grimoire," I declared, placing my hand on the altar. "I, Eliza Montgomery, descendant of Abigail, do hereby renounce the pact made in 1723. I return what was taken and reclaim what was given. The debt is paid. The cycle is broken." The twins screamed, dissolving into shadows. A blinding light filled the mausoleum, and then Abigail appeared, a woman resembling me. "You've ended it," she said. "The price? Our family's prosperity, wealth, and extraordinary luck, all gone. We would be ordinary. It's worth it," I stated firmly. Abigail smiled, then faded, warning that the house too was part of the bargain and would go by dawn. Catherine and I packed only sentimental items, then watched the house disappear into an empty clearing as the sun rose. We drove away from a legacy of darkness towards an ordinary, precious future. I don't know what comes next, but I'll make my own way. I will never face what my grandmother did, or look into my children's eyes and see malevolence. I will never whisper, "We don't speak of the twins." The curse is broken, the cycle is ended, and that, I think, is worth any price. This is the Dark Britain Files. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, sleep well, if you can.